Alrighty, we are live. Man, doing a live show. It's fun, especially with you. We have, we didn't have the date, 6/30, 2021, just for those of you watching and after today, so you know what we're talking about. We got a full show, the Dave and Dave show today. Last day of the month of June. I know we haven't gotten our checks in for today, but we got 24 closings just yesterday. So June was a fantastic month.
You know why?
Why?
Because it was my birthday month.
That's definitely not the reason.
What is the episode number?
120.
Wow. What I weigh?
What you weigh. You have two great ones. Your age and what
I'm not
I
using
weigh.
my age anymore because it's no
You
good.
just act like you're 120. You don't look it though. Good for you. In dog years, you're like 8 million. What do you think is going to happen? I'm gonna vary. We're gonna talk about some stuff. Birds of a feather flock together. Show me your friends. I'll show you future. We're talking about values and purpose. I really want to start talking about this, but before, let's just jump in the market. We're at 385,000 median price. Do you think we go up this month?
I think we go up one more month. 1 or 2 more
One more
months.
month. One more month.
1 or 2 more months.
One more month.
Yeah.
One more month. Really? You think we're gonna go over 400,000?
No.
You don't?
No.
I think we do.
Okay. Difference of opinion.
I think we do. Although I think July we stagnant. Maybe not. But if we go up 2%, 2.5% to 3% just in June, some quick math, 3,800 plus 3,800 is 3,850 plus 3,850, 7,700. If there's another percent, right? We're pushing 400, like pushing it.
That's not what you asked me.
I don't think we're gonna go over 400 this month. So you're saying, I see what you're saying. You're saying we're gonna go like 390 something, and then we're gonna.
Well, I also think because inventory is increasing and escrow is a little bit decreasing, so in contract is decreasing, that the demand is there, high demand is there for the listing that's under 350, right? It's berserk. And then for the beautiful listing that's totally been gutted and redone, high demand. But for the normal listing,
high demand.
for the normal listing at the normal price, I think that they better set it at the last price, because I don't think you could just pick a price at this stage and expect it to sell.
Look how much better we look on the phone than we do the screen. I look dark.
You were in the beach this week.
So driving to California and back, I have a metaphor. I don't think, like, let's say the market was so tight, it's like bumper to bumper traffic. Bumper to bumper.
Bumper to bumper.
Bumper to bumper. I think I trained Lola well.
She says bumper to bumper.
No, we were starting to slow down a little bit, and Ella goes, "We're in traffic," and Lola goes, "This isn't traffic." And I said, "If you've not experienced a thing called the Long Island Expressway, oh, that's what LA people call it, the 405. Is that the one?"
Oh, LA, everywhere I went this weekend in LA was traffic.
Long Island Expressway, though, was special.
It was special
You could
during
turn
commuting hours.
You could turn your car
off.
Like
Park it.
literally park it. It was a parking lot. Now that's traffic. So if you look at our market, like traffic, I believe we got so tight on our inventory. What do you think the height of the tightness was 6 weeks ago, 7 weeks ago?
6 to 8, it was like a 1,925 single family homes.
And where are we at now? 2,700 or 2,800? I don't have the numbers.
We're up 8, like to 2,740, like that.
Which, all things considered, in any other market would be a super tight market. But when you have context and you compare to where we were and to where we are, it's like when you're in traffic and it's starting to open up a little bit. Now, do I believe people can, you gotta love when traffic opens up. People start hitting the gas and then they gotta hit the brakes again because it hasn't opened up completely. I'm not saying I know of anyone who does that. Me, right? Angie is in the passenger seat driving for me. It's so great to have 4 eyes on the road at all times because
I'd rather have 4 than none.
She has zero trust in me for some reason. When I drive, she's more of a nervous
Nelly.
driver.
Nervous Nelly.
So I just think that we're starting to loosen up with the traffic. That's my best metaphor
Good analogy.
for what's going on, right? Like,
And it's a great time. If you look at the positive to this, there's been a lot of buyers saying, I don't want to do this anymore, and I got to put in 17 offers, and I can now go the other way. The interest rates were starting to go up, and they went down again.
yep,
The inventory is going up, so you got a better chance to get a house at what it's listed at or around that rather than what the crazies were.
Yep.
So right now, it's actually a perfect time to buy.
it's always a perfect time to buy.
But
And
right
it-
now, you're not
it's-
gonna.
no, it's
There
always-
was that buyer remorse about, oh my God, I can't get a house, and that's
So,
changing. a
we
little bit.
talked about that last week too, right? So rather than go off like, what do we think is going to happen? I'll tell you what's going to happen. The people who work or invest and have income and buy correctly with enough money down and can cover their mortgage and afford houses are going to win in the long run always.
Mm-hmm.
If you are a buyer, your rates are still good and now you have more options.
The rates are not good. It's phenomenal.
You have more options. So
Yeah.
it is absolutely a great time to buy.
But let's talk about Red Rock, because I always love to talk about
It's
it.
kind of getting boring. You kind
No,
of bore
listen
me
to
on Red
this.
Rock.
My driving home right now, I passed 3 flips. 3 houses are gutted right now
Gutted.
for flips. Gutted.
Gutted.
Gutted. I go in and,
Of course, I have faith that you're definitely the mayor. Continue.
yeah. So it's interesting that the flip houses, whether you start at a $200,000 condo to a $3 million, the flip houses, A, get the highest price,
Yep.
and they go the fastest.
Yep.
So it tells us that the buyer wants redone new-like homes that are stylish
I
and
want to
ready to go.
stand up a little bit. I mean, look, it's kind of like a lump of poop if you're just like, I want to let's get some erectness. Erect.
Oh, boy.
Be
Okay.
erect. Up. Camera's going to change because we're being erect. I'm erecting my back and it feels shitty.
I'm not even going there.
I do believe the quality of the inventory is the game, right? There is going to be a day, though, that here's what's going to happen. I'm going to tell the future. You ready?
Yeah, I love it. Put your turban on.
So he's not being by any means racist when he says turban. He's talking about me being
fortune
a
teller.
fortune teller. Hey, it's 2021. I'm going to be crystal freaking clear with everybody.
fortune teller.
Fortune teller. Get my
That's it.
fortune, my glass, right? What happens is this. Happens in the new homes versus resale all the time. It also happens with the rentals as well. Everything's going up right now. So there's no little new homes are so expensive, resales are a better deal, jump on resales.
Should new homes be going down because the labor construction went down 50%?
I'm in the middle of a point.
Okay, go ahead.
Middle of a point. We just did this in the managers meeting
Go
for
back.
2 hours with you completely sabotaging and undermining every friggin' point I
right,
make
go ahead.
with your ADHD. It's driving me insane today. I am gonna. The Dave Tina show is next week.
Am I now the son and you're the dad?
I think my back just popped from stress. Fucking killing me.
Go ahead.
It creates gaps. Usually when there's a gap, the new homes sometimes are underpriced. Resales get too expensive. People buy new homes, right? Rentals become super great deal. People are like, you know what? It's really cheap to rent. I'm not going to buy. Or new homes get so expensive that people rush to resales. There's always some kind of gap. There's no gap right now. Everything is just expensive, whether it's a dog resale, whether it's brand new, whether it's resale gutted, or it's a rental that's really nice. Like your choices are an $8,000 a month rental in Red Rock that needs to be gutted, or
Got it?
or a gutted house that was never going to appraise, or a resale that is not worth it and you have to rip out everything, or a new home where you might as well just bend over because it's over. You know.
That's an 80,000 lot premium.
It's
What are
insane,
you seeing?
right?
Oh, a wall.
Exactly. So there's no gaps. There's no space in any of these things. So what I'm saying is, as the traffic opens up a little bit, we may find a gap. And I think what'll happen is what you're just saying is, let's use your Red Rock example that you love so much. What'll happen is the ones that are redone and flipped versus the ones that are need to be, if there's a gap, people may say, you know what, as much as I want the redone one, I can go do it the way I want it for cheaper.
And offer a little less
Exactly.
because there's like 7 houses for sale, which is minutia.
Ah, shit.
Oh, I'm sorry about your back, but they're all on the market over 35 days.
Exactly.
Isn't
And
that interesting?
With
30
10 houses on the market. Right?
Yeah, and the reason
Which
being,
everything should be gone because they don't have choices.
you got it, and they're not. So that's what you're calling the gap.
And you even said on the new homes, new home communities that weren't being as realtor friendly in the past, all of a sudden have some inventory, and now they're becoming, oh, I was just kidding. I
Yeah.
need you. I love you. You're
Yeah.
very pretty.
Yeah.
You're very nice. You know,
And for the general public, I
very
gotta
nice.
tell you this.
Nice.
When you go to the builder and that track agent is telling you, we're gonna do this and we're gonna do that, when you sign your duties owed, they work for the builder. If there's a special that we're getting, saying they're gonna give you 10,000 in closing costs or upgrades, without a realtor along your side, they are not telling you about it. They represent the builder who you're in. The only one in a new home that will represent you is a realtor, is one of
A
us.
realtor.
A realtor.
Realtor. Listen, I don't care how nice the prosecutor, the judge, and the jury are. If you go to defend yourself in the court of law by yourself, shame on you. You know, new homes are not as easy as you think.
And it doesn't cost you more to have a realtor in there versus they tell you, oh, well, you know, now it's a lie. You're not getting a better deal.
Well, I'll take it back. 80% of the realtors out there, you're probably better off representing yourself. Find the 20% good ones. Is that an ethics violation against 80% of the realtors?
No,
'cause
any statement you make on realtors, if it's true, is not an ethics violation.
defamation is not true if it's not
Defamation if it's true.
true, right?
Right.
So if I say she reminds me of the Wicked Witch of the West because I've seen her on a broom, it's
That's
true.
true.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And we know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
So let's talk about sellers for a second. We hit the buyers. Sellers, listen. If you're looking to sell, like listen, if you're not going to sell and you're just kind of like, I'm really in love with what my house is worth, and I like playing the game of pulling some money off the table in my head, but I have nowhere to go, maybe you're not ready to sell. It's okay. But if you're looking to sell and you're trying to time the market, you better act. And I'm not saying like, listen, it's like Bitcoin. Like I watch Bitcoin, I get updates. Up 5%, down 10%, up 6%. It's insane. I was going to use a misogynist metaphor that I held back.
And I think what sellers, to get them realistic, don't compare it to the house around the corner. If you back a street and the house around the corner is a quiet lot, don't compare it if your house is the exact same model and they put 150,000.
Yeah, I'm not even getting that point. I'm just
Well,
saying
I'm
is,
just saying, list it right, trust your realtor, look at the comps, because the comparables of other houses with or without determines your price. So
if you want to do something, act. Your house has never been worth more. And maybe it's worth more next month. Maybe it's not.
maybe it's not. May have hit the peak.
You don't know. No one knows because, like I said, traffic's opening up.
And
right?
inventory and in escrow or in contract, whatever word, is dropping.
Well, July is historically a bad month. I mean, listen, I don't want to play a climate change game here, but holy shit, this whole city, this whole country is on fire
What'd
right
you think
now.
of Washington?
So-
Grace sent me a picture in Bellevue, Washington, with the aluminum siding
Yeah.
melting off the side of the house because they never.
It's
had it.
hot. People are not going to want to do anything. I'm just saying, like, I don't
Well,
know.
we're having very pleasant rainy weather, so I've been enjoying it.
Yeah, I was in Coronado. It was freezing.
Really?
Yeah, it was.
Not
there was-
Pasadena was 100 degrees.
So, make your action. Take action always. We give you the week-to-week little nuances. And we're going to tell you every week, not as a sleazy realtor, but as a consultant of real estate services, that every week we're going to say it's a great time to buy and it's a great time to sell. if you do things the right way, if you're disciplined and you're diligent and you have your information, you're working with an expert and you have a plan with options, it's always a good time, right? Because if the rates are up and the prices are down, you're going to get it at a good price.
Balance is the same way.
It's always the same. So that's where we're at. There's a market update. What I want to talk about is values. I've been so stuck on these values. I started doing a little Instagram, Facebook post. You probably saw it. I was at this restaurant, a cafe in Coronado, and it was called Parakeet,
Good name.
right? It just opened up, and all of their marketing was birds of a feather flock together,
together.
which we've used here at the Nest, right? I think it's really cool
Well,
because
the
it's
nest, birds, yeah.
okay, Captain fucking obvious. I mean,
Captain Obvious, not with the,
will Facebook bleep me, or am I screwed? Or you're gonna have to bleep me? I'm good. Okay. So it's all over their stuff, right? Birds of feather,
flock together.
flock together. Birds of a feather flock together.
Yes.
Anyway, it got me thinking of our values, right? And I like to say this thing: show me your friends, and I'll show you your future, your product, your environment. Because people always tell me they're at a company and they're like, "I love you and your dad. I love George. I love Jennifer. I love what Urban Nest stands for. But I'm comfortable with my office. I hate my broker. I hate my owner. They don't give me shit. But it's cheap." And I think they don't understand that you're a product of your environment. And that's not just in business. I'm not just talking about Urban Nest.
No,
I'm talking
it's
about
life.
the people you hang out with, your family. If someone's holding you back, you got to drop them like a bad hat. Gone, right? Show me your friends, I'll show you your future. If you hang out with people who are in great shape, you're probably going to lose weight. I know one of our agents.
That's why California works, because they all walk around there.
They're
thin
active.
and active.
And then the food choices reflect that,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Same thing with business. You hang out with millionaires, you're going to be a millionaire. No, because deals are going to come. You're going to be in the deal flow. You hang out with people who are family people, you're going to take care of your family. Like, it really matters. It's like being in the car, a stolen car that you didn't steal. You're going to jail if you're in the car. Like, that's just the way it is.
It was funny you bring that up, because some of the owners are doing unethical ways to recruit. And the agent said to me, well, I'm not doing it, I'm just accepting it. And my analogy through New York is, if the TV falls off the truck into your hands and the cops come, the people get arrested for stealing the TV and you get arrested for buying it. So when you tell me your broker's giving me X for doing Y and you're getting benefit in Z, you're going to go and get the same violation.
You need to be in
that-
alignment.
You can't.
Yeah.
You're right.
There
Now,
needs-
some of the brokers and the agents belong together because they all want to do unethical stuff.
But this is a bigger conversation than just us
well, I'm
versus
just giving.
them.
I'm not. I'm just saying.
You
that
always
it-
go down into minutia.
I am minutia.
It's you. That no true words have ever been said in this world. So I had this conversation, and I was like, you know how you say, "Oh, I can't stand that person," or "I hate that person." I don't use those words anymore. I say I'm not in alignment with that person. Our values are not in alignment, because that's what I'm truly saying. Like, for instance, there may be someone that I respect how he or she runs their business, and it's a reminder for me to level up, but I don't respect the way they act. So maybe they're good at business, they're good at growing, but their character and their integrity do not align with me. So if I'm going to partner with someone, or we're going to bring someone in, because I have multiple businesses, I do coaching and consulting and private equity and all sorts of things, I want to make sure this is a high impact, forward moving, aligned in values relationship. And they don't have to, listen, I don't need to judge their lives. They do them. And in some relationships, if they're maybe 2 or 3 arms away, again, I don't have to feel like, they don't have to be Mother Teresa. But I better be in alignment, because every time that I've done a deal that I was like, I'm not feeling right, it's always come back to bite me in the ass. How many deals have, and we haven't done many deals.
My problem with alignment is, if I'm not in alignment, in the end it becomes destructive. So I'll be a grumpier agent. Let's just take him work if I was selling. if that other agent wasn't in alignment with me, the transaction went poorly and there was a lot of argumentative stuff because their alignment was get the deal closed. I don't care what the buyer and seller come out. I want to go for the closing.
So let's
I
talk-
have to make everybody happy.
Exactly. Let's talk about these values for a second, because I bring this up all the time, because everyone has values that are similar. But how you implement and actually the action behind the values tells you what you're really committed to. And let me explain. So our values for this company, really our values as people, at least for me, I think you're aligned with our values, right? The last one we'll talk about. The first one is do the right thing. Now that's basically have integrity.
Which I taught you from birth.
That is completely from you, right? Have integrity. Play the long game. Don't sell out early for the quick money or whatever, the quick relationship, or, you know, oh, I really want to do business with this person. I want to date this person. I want to be friends with this person.
It's even in marriage,
Exactly.
you know.
So do the right thing is just basically integrity and being transparent and honest. It's super simple. The second one's do the work, like not being afraid of doing the work, but it's also make some friggin' money. Now, right, we already have these two values. Now, do the right thing is first before do the work for one major reason, because here's how things get screwed up. Opportunity comes by and you're like, all right, here's alignment number one, integrity. Here's alignment number two, make money.
Work hard.
Right? Work hard. Then you get an opportunity where you can make money, but holy shit, it's going to question, it's going to push the line of your integrity. So now you have two values. I want to succeed versus I want to do the right thing and I won't want to sell out. And now two values collide.
Mm-hmm.
If you make money, you know which value is more important. If you do the right thing, you know which value is more important. And that is when values collide, you see the difference. You see which ones you're really committed to the most.
But if you do it right, you could do the right thing, you could work really hard, and you could level up, and you don't give away your integrity in any three of those stages.
I agree, but there's some ways you can't get out. So for instance, this is where I will use an Urban Nest example. You have an agent, right, that's maybe been with us 2 or 3 years that did 35 transactions, right? Mm-hmm. And you look and you're like, wow, they closed 4 deals without ever putting in paperwork, without ever even paying us what they owe us. They bought a house and said they were going to flip it, and we have the clients coming and screaming. There's personal issues, and you're looking at this agent and you're like, they did 35 transactions, which is a lot.
It's a lot.
It's a lot, right? If you look at it from us, we're making good money. Now, everyone would sit here and look in that camera and lie through their friggin' teeth and say they'd be gone at our company. And you know I call bullshit. Not many. Maybe a handful of people would actually.
We fired him.
No, in all fairness, we gave him, her, let's talk they. Because we're not putting it. The opportunity to rectify the situation, because no one's perfect, us included. And I would want the opportunity to rectify the situation as well, right?
Rectify when you're sort of stealing in a way.
And then off they go, right? And we let them go. That's when we put 2, 3, 4 years into this person. Time, resources, growth, and we made return on it. But now, this doesn't represent, forget Urban Nest for a second. Urban Nest is another. Dave and Dave, literally the Dave and Dave show.
Doesn't represent who we are.
You gotta let him or her go. Because here's what happens. This is real life stuff. You go out, those of you who have kids, you know this too. You go out somewhere and you have the conversation. What do you do for a living, Dad?
I'm a broker owner of a real estate company.
Of Urban Nest. And then here's what happens. Oh, I know one of your agents. And I don't know about him.
Either cringe or smile.
It's not even cringe. The thing in my head is going, I wonder who they're going.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Right? Because there's always 2 or 3 where you're like, I want to be represented. Now, the beauty of our people is I could say without a doubt, the vast majority, 98, 99%. There's a few that, hey, like, and our agents are watching. The one or two that have to level up, they know who they are, right? But I want to be so proud and know from 1 to 500 that I could vouch for them. And I think that's hard. And maybe that's too altruistic maybe on my Pollyanna head in the sky, but that's my goal.
That's my name, Pollyanna. You taking it?
Right? So that's the second thing. The third thing is level up. Now, I've gotten a little aggressive on this lately because I get frustrated. And leveling up is having a growth mindset. Now, we've had the conversation before. You're either growing or dying, right? There is no staying in place. If you're staying in place, you're dying. It's stagnation. You're atrophying. We agree with that?
At certain times of your life.
When you plateau,
Uh-huh.
you can only plateau for a short period of time. Because once you plateau, you're either going to go down or you're going to go up. Fine, the plateau, you got to jump back into the J curve. J curve, right? Off we go. So lately, I've been having this conversation where I've been unapologetic for the life that I leave behind. So every time, some of you are religious, I love this metaphor. I'm more spiritual than dogmatic, meaning I believe in everything rather than just one thing. But I like the theory of being born again over and over while you're alive, right? Basically saying the 32-year-old Dave is left behind by the 33-year-old Dave.
And that's true.
No longer serves him. The 33-year-old Dave is left behind to the 34-year-old Dave. By the time I'm 37, the 32-year-old Dave can't even compete with the 37-year-old Dave, right? Like, he's unrecognizable in a good way because I've grown as a man and have capacity.
And it's everything around you. The pre-COVID Dave of me is not the same as the after-COVID Dave now. Because I sat in the house locked in for a year. And it changed me and a lot of people. So everything
Which
around
it should. I think you missed the point if it hadn't in some way. Right?
You have a sunburn too, by the way.
I know.
So yeah, if you don't move up, you're dying. And I love moving up because people say at my age, I have an age thing different than you, that you stop. And I am not stopping.
So I want to
maybe that's why they think I'm 40 instead of 60.
Only because you're my father, and I force you to grow. You have no choice.
Oh.
You have no choice.
No choice.
It's zero choice. You know this is the truth.
Zero choice.
You really have zero choice. Now, if I don't find this, it's going to drive me insane. Hold on. Okay. So here's basically where I'm at, right? So I wrote, I'm not apologizing anymore to anyone for pushing the people around me to level up. Because being my friend is intense. I want to see you succeed so much.
Being your father is intense.
It is. It is, because I'm incapable of small talk. Like, hey, how's the weather? No, I want to get deep. I want to be honest. I want to laugh. I want to talk about real shit. Like, I want to know you. I'm going to throw myself under the bus first, right? I'm going to be super honest, tell you, like, I'm not going to sit here and be like, I have it all figured out, or I'm never scared, or no, like, let's pull the onion away real quick. I don't have the time in life to sit here and do the kabuki and bullshit. I really want to know the truth, right? Hopefully this comes out on the screen, right? So I wrote, in my life, it is a requirement to be in the growth mindset, right? I'm not going to lower my standards for anyone, and neither should you. You should not lower your standards for anyone.
Neither should anyone that wants to level up.
Friends, family, agents, clients, partners, you either grow or die with me in this relationship. Right? Because here's what happens. Here's what happens. What?
I was just going to go ADD, but I stopped.
How many people your past are still in your life?
You're asking me that.
I am asking you that.
Quite a few.
Okay. So the people that are growing at different levels and different rates of speed, which is no right or wrong, because my rate of growth and where I'm growing could be completely wrong for another person's rate of growth and where they're going. So there's no wrong answers here, right?
No.
But in some of those cases, are they backwards conversations or forward conversations? I'm going to give you an example.
Backwards.
Backwards. What do you talk about?
The past.
The past. Exactly. And then you have different people who are in your life right now.
And the groups, and that's
Exactly.
I don't think I could live my life day to day with the people from my past.
Exactly.
Because I'm no longer in my past, and I'm not a man that says, "Oh, look at my past." Even at my age, I want to look at the present and the future, not in the past.
So there's this conversation about outgrowing not only yourself, but the situations you're in, right? So even marriages, like Angie and I talk about this all the time, we're both committed to growing. If one of us stopped growing, we'd have an issue eventually, because one of us would be growing, the other one would be stagnant. I think a lot of
And the
relationships,
stagnants get left behind.
they do. And I think, and that's the thing, like the fear of being left behind should push people to grow.
Or it makes you stagnant.
Or you get paralyzed.
That's what I'm saying.
right?
It'll paralyze you if you have the fear. The main thing is to live without the fear.
Exactly. You gotta actually use the fear as the fuel to go and say the fear is actually a gift
Right.
to remind myself to go. That's why I say anxiety, I reframe it. Anxiety is my brain gets too stagnant. If I'm too stagnant, which means I'm not growing fast enough, then the brain comes in like the devil's, right?
You inherited that. You inherited that from me.
Exactly. So that's why you got to go. But I
That's
looked
why
at
I'm always moving.
well, I looked at it. The people with the anxiety are the people who lead the world. Because people who are more content don't have as much push and fire to go, right? So that's why, like, you're going to see even more of a level of standard raised. We already had a high standard here, but the standard is going to keep growing, and it's not about how many deals you do or how much money you make. That's the byproduct of the standard being raised, right? The real part is the journey, it's the path of growing and becoming the person, right? When you make more money and do more deals and get things done on lead gen every day, you start trusting, you get self-respect and self-worth. So that's why that third part, leveling up, is a growth mindset. I think it's a requirement in
But
life.
I have to be really honest about this. And by saying we were closing the company at 500
We're not
agents,
closing it.
you know what I'm saying, but not hiring, going on a waiting list,
Yeah.
it has automatically made us level up on every choice we do.
Yes.
And that, to me, is an unintended consequence because I didn't
It was
realize
an intended one for me.
for you, but for me, I said
Yeah.
for me, I didn't realize by knowing that that number is 500, we're picking and choosing agents that want to follow our path. That's the easiest. Stop looking at the hair in my ear.
My God.
In our path, I could see you looking at it. Don't do it on screen.
It's not, I'm not looking at it, it's looking at me.
Sign of old age. No more hair here. A little more in your ears. A little more in your nose.
But it's a gift for most people.
hey, listen. Don't talk about it. I saw your back the other day.
I shaved it. It's
Oh,
good.
thank
I
God.
take. I mean,
it wasn't a wildebeest.
even my arms.
It wasn't a-
Look how clean.
Yeah.
Look how beautiful.
It wasn't a wildebeest.
right.
Go ahead.
Accountability is basically what we're talking about. We're also talking about tough love, right? And I think what people only hear is the tough. When you say tough love, they only hear the tough. I don't think they
But-
see the big heart, right?
Right.
It's accountability.
But isn't tough love more rewarding than any love?
Because it's real.
Right.
It's real. So, like when people,
I gave you tough love.
oh, son of a bitch.
I
you gave me.
still give you tough love,
It drives me insane because it gives nobody else tough love.
but you're the one I love.
I understand, but you're holding back. People are actually wanting tough love because here's
You want me to start giving Dave Tina love?
if I think you're robbing them of that. You want to know why? You know, here's when people want to be massaged and cared for, they go to him. When they want the truth, they go to me because most of the
sort
time
changing a little bit. I'm
you're getting better. You're getting better. But like when I
That's
give
because when you get older, you feel you could say whatever
no, because it
you
took
want.
me 43 years to train you.
Oh, you trained me from birth.
Yes. But think about this for a second. When someone gives you the truth, the compliments are a little bit better. Because when you do get a compliment, you're like, he really means it, because he's just not giving them out for free, right? And that fire lit, that accountability fire being lit under someone's ass, right, really exposes them and pushes them. People need to push themselves into a corner and being pushed into a corner to see what they really want. For instance, does a brokerage, or do we have the balls, excuse me,
The knife.
to tell somebody, maybe real estate's just not for you, right? And like, I love you, you're a great person. And then they don't like it. And then they go out and they become a chef, and they make a ton of money being a chef. And maybe 3 years in the future, they come back and they go, thank you for having a real conversation with me, because I would have been wasting my time for 3 years doing something I didn't like. But the fact that you put a line in the sand saying, it ain't gonna work, you gave me the gift and the permission and freedom to move on. And then the other person who isn't succeeding, you light that fire like shit or get off the pot, and all of a sudden they become a producing agent because they needed someone to give them a little tough. Now, some people don't respond to tough. Some people, you give them a little tough and they crumble. And you need to love them and hug them a little bit more. But you still need to tell them the truth. And maybe you need to love them a little bit more. Me, I need a tough. When my coaches kicked me in the ass, I was like, and I went, right? Like, that was me. I needed tough. Love didn't work with me because I'm a sadomasochist. But now, so what are we talking
So
about?
I did the right thing.
You did. You did, because I'm a very strong personality, and everyone just telling me what I wanted to hear wasn't going to get me there. That's why I continually throw myself into...
I never told you what you wanted to hear. Right?
Never. You always told me the truth, but that was the greatest gift you gave me.
Yeah.
But is it a real relationship? Do you have a real friendship or relationship or partnership or business relationship if you're not telling each other the truth?
No, but you have to be careful. Some people don't want to know the truth, and they're the ones you should.
I don't think some people, I think no one wants the truth.
No.
They need it. Now you need permission. I wouldn't go around just lighting people the fuck up. Like, it's more like, hey, you know,
Did it again.
do you really want the truth? Are you sure? You know, you got Jack Nicholson, then, you know, you can't handle the truth, right? But
I don't like when people give me the truth when I don't ask for it.
I think that is 100%. I think that's a huge caveat.
Yeah.
Like, listen, don't go, like I said, don't go around, especially being in a coaching position. I just shut my mouth and I wait. But once you give me that permission, off we go. It's not even that, it's this too. Because a lot of people need to hear, like, one of my friends just got a Tesla yesterday. And he's sending me pictures of it, and I'm like, is that yours? And he's like, yeah. I was like, man, you deserve that. You earned that. Like, good for you. Congratulations. And you know, he texted me back. He's like, I needed to hear that, because he didn't even give himself the permission to enjoy it. Sometimes people need that positive reinforcement.
I always need permission to enjoy when I do something like that.
Exactly. It's a two-way street.
In my last 10 years now, I don't need permission at all.
Really, you want to talk about the first class tickets yesterday?
I don't want to go first.
I'm going to let that die for another day. But what also is, he doubled down on himself. So I'm reading this book called The Magic of Thinking Big. It's awesome. And you're never going to make a certain amount of money, have a great relationship, have the relationship you want. Like, for instance, the fact that I have Angie as my wife, gorgeous on the inside, gorgeous on the outside, is because I felt like I deserved that woman, and I went for it. The fact that we have a business is because we felt like we could think bigger. We didn't say, why not? We said, what if, right? So here's the bigger conversation. Your values and your purpose need to be aligned, and you got to have some personal values. We do. We know who we are, and we're unapologetic about it. We lean into it. And then there's your purpose. Our purpose came from me giving him speeches about him. We talked about this before, but I need to say it again. Our purpose is to leave people in a better place than we found them. And it works for real estate too, because literally a better place is like a house, right? But you leave them in a better state of mind. You leave them in a better person of gratitude. You are the king of that, right? You truly change people's lives. So I think if you know who you are, you know who you aren't. And then you don't, when Georgia and Jennifer and all of our great staff, they know who we are. We know who, they know what to expect. And when we're hiring people, we understand who's for us and who's not. Because if you're a friend to all, you're a friend to no one. If you try to please everyone, you please no one. And drawing that line in the sand and be like, this is who we are, and this is who we aren't, may piss some people off.
Yeah. Did I ever tell you about my doctor? One of my doctors.
Go for it.
So one of my doctors is very successful. I'm not going to name where, when, or whatever. And he was working 60 hours a week.
Okay.
And I said, Doc, where's your kids? Oh, last one just graduated college and he's in great shape. And I said, why are you working 60 hours a week if everything is success? So they called me up the other day and they said, Mr. Tina, your appointment's been canceled. And I said, why is my appointment canceled? And they said, because you convinced the doctor to work 4 days a week and it's on a Friday and we got to reschedule you because now we're working 4-day weeks. We're working still the 12 hours, but we're taking 3-day weekends. And that was just me saying to him, you're in your mid-50s, you have everything you want, and why aren't you enjoying life? So I believe in working hard, but I also believe in enjoying.
So that's even more important. Now, I got some buddies out there. He knows who he is. Like, you got to work 50 hours a week. I call bullshit, right? There is a way to work smarter, not harder. And they got to align with your values. So if your values are, I want to be a family man, but I also want to be rich, you got to figure that out because something's got to give. It's so funny. I told my doctor, I wonder if it's the same one.
No.
He's concierge and he hasn't raised his fees in it. And I go, aren't the cost of doing business going up every year? And he said, yeah. I said, so what do you do to make the same money? He goes, I bring on more patients. I said, what do? You work harder every year? He goes, yeah. I said, buddy, you got to raise your fees, right? So I'm even telling him to raise his fees on me. What's it going to cost? $100 more a year? $200 more a year?
I'm only kidding.
Right?
It's not
the guy doing work on a Summerlin office.
I'd rather pay more money and get more concierge service that way than him take on more clients and give me less service.
Exactly. So the guy doing the work on our Summerlin office, he's doing a great job. He's done work on my personal home, doing a great job. I called him yesterday to tell him he's doing a great job. I want to add something in the Summerlin office. I want him to do some work for me in my house. And he's like, well, I'm going to be away from July 5th to August 5th. Now, old Dave, different mindset Dave, scarcity mindset Dave would have been like, oh shit, he's going to screw up this, he's going to screw up that. Abundance Dave was like, man, I want to be on vacation for a month in the future too. He obviously has a number 2 that is amazing. I said, tell your number 2, this guy Tony, to call me. I said, he could bid it out. I said, my personal house, we'll wait till you get back August 5th and we'll work on that. I didn't begrudge him. I didn't question him. He's done the work and I know he's going to deliver. Different game. Because if I was coaching him, I'd be like, listen, take your month and go back to your home country, right? To Romania, wherever he's from, or Macedonia.
The only thing difference with a realtor, I'm going to interrupt a little because they say you could do more hours. Are we ever off?
Never.
Are we after dinner? I was at Fleming's last night. You were eating dinner, and we were texting an agent as we go. I don't think as realtors we're ever really off.
Yeah, but I was doing it as us dating on TikTok. If I was playing with my kids, I wouldn't have been texting.
Oh, by the way, I liked your TikTok video you made.
I'm not on TikTok. What are you talking about?
You made a video with the girls, like a TikTok.
A video? That's Angie's doing her TikTok.
No, you did. You did a video.
I didn't. Did I do a TikTok, Deanna? Unless she did it for me. No, I didn't. So
I'm gonna find it.
It wasn't me.
It was you with the kids saying I'm pretending to do TikTok. Maybe I dreamt it. I have vivid dreams now.
It was not me.
Maybe it was me dreaming.
Can we get back to the subject at hand?
Yeah, sure.
So it's a better conversation. It's a comprehensive conversation. And when we say we're only hiring certain people and this and that, that's not the case. The 500 is aligned with what we want and who we want to be aligned with. We want to have our values aligned. Are we going to have carbon copies of Dave and Dave? Absolutely not. It's not the way it is. Mm-mm. But if you come in with those 3 things, and those are our expectations, they're going to be on the wall in big letters. We know that the first thing is required is to have integrity, please. That'll set you apart. Don't be afraid of getting your hands dirty. Get working. And then grow. If you're not growing every single year at your company, if you're not growing every single year at this company, it's either one or two people's faults. I tell this to everyone who is on the staff. I tell this to every agent. It's either my fault, because I take personal responsibility as a person who sets it all up, for not giving you the opportunity to grow, or it's your fault for not stepping into the opportunity I gave you.
And
Right?
it's never my fault.
It's sometimes my fault. Like that happens. Like we're growing rapidly right now. We're bringing in so many different things and programs and trainings and accounting things. I mean, forget it. We're going almost fast. I think I'm almost overwhelming our poor staff, especially Danny. But lots of things are coming. But it's a requirement for us as a company, as people, to not be the same company we were 9 years ago.
I think if we were, we wouldn't be hiring the different people we are.
Exactly.
Because if you're never leveling up, you're staying stagnant and then you're staying in the old. And that's not a successful program.
Exactly. And what happens is you build capacity. And so, for instance, could the 32-year-old Dave or the 34-year-old Dave handle what the 43-year-old Dave? Probably not, both with being a parent, a leader, an owner,
I thought you were 44.
and consultant. I'll be 44 in December.
That's right, because I was 20 when I had you.
You don't want to play this game. It's just not a good game for you at all.
I was in the lamp store yesterday, and the guy said, you get a senior discount. I said, well, how old am I? He says 56, 57.
Yeah.
I went across.
The only thing young,
I gave him 10.
the only thing young on your body is those teeth. To the point, like the teeth are gonna call the cops on the rest of your body because they're too young to be in your mouth.
Jealousy.
That's it.
Jealousy.
Sexual harassment on your teeth. What is it called? You're a pedophile on your teeth.
Jealousy.
I'm gonna have them. I'm looking in because you can't see my teeth. I think I'm gonna do veneers. Veneers are you cut
Someone
them up.
asked me this weekend in California,
You cut 'em up a little
Did you
bit.
get veneers? And I said, no.
You gotta be
this
careful
is-
though. If you
I
have
cleaned them.
if you have a big grill already, the veneer is gonna make
Yeah, I
your
don't
teeth
have a
look
big
big.
grill. Yeah.
But you can't see my look. You can't see anything in here right now. So you'll actually be able to see my teeth behind these big lips.
Nice.
All right. So, have the values conversation with yourself, with your spouse. Like, what are your values as a man or a woman? What's your values as a parent, as a spouse, as a business person? What's your values? And then make sure that the people around you are meeting those values, because you may have to drop some people. And it's not even drop them like in a mean way, but like, you know, the people in your life. People are like, I'm going to do this. And they're like, really? Really? No. Imagine if we said yes to that. Your parents wanted to stop you from opening a restaurant. You never stopped me from going to Vegas. I went. You didn't fight. I mean, I know you wanted me to take my full ride to Hofstra, but I went, right? Like, action going. The people around you are like, you're never going to make it, or be careful, or whatever. They're holding you back, right? And just because they're your family or your friends or your spouse, that doesn't mean you have to.
Oh, when I started them buying all those houses and did the restaurant and did everything, my parents, they were just sweating, saying, oh my God, you bought this with no money and you could lose that. I was like, that's it. I'm taking
Yeah.
a chance.
Exactly. So look around, see who you're around, see who's in the bullpen having conversations. You know, maybe, I'm not trying to be mean, but you're taking advice from people who do 2 deals a year, or you're taking advice from people who do 25 deals a year. Are you taking in health advice from someone who needs health advice given to them? Are you taking relationship advice from people who aren't in relationships? Are you taking business advice from people who don't have a successful business? Like, you gotta show me your friends and I'll show you your future. It's the best statement in the entire world. If you have low value people around you, you're gonna be in trouble. You gotta level up. So that's just the conversation I wanted to have. This isn't a push for Urban Nest or Infinite Path Coaching. It's not about that. It's about taking a look around, make sure you're sitting in the right seat. And if you're not, make a change. make a change in your relationship. And listen, you don't have to just drop everybody. Sometimes you just need to have a conversation with somebody. Like, hey, where are we at? And you may go, I want to do this. And then they may look back at you and go, what about you, buddy? You know what I mean? Like, so I thought I just felt compelled to talk about that today, my friend.
It's all good.
And so that's where we're at today. Any takeaways on this? Would you like this conversation, Numbnuts?
I did. And the only thing I could say is do what's right for you, but listen to what was said. And if you feel you're stagnant and you're not doing it, then take our advice and change a few things. A little twist could make your whole life. You know, take those negative people out of your life.
Let's go back to the little
highest-
twist. You
Go
don't,
ahead.
you don't even know you're doing it. But Tony Robbins just called it 2 millimeter shift.
Okay, I just called it a little
Right?
twist.
2 millimeter shift. Everyone thinks they need to make big changes, and usually it's just this much. And he uses the examples of hitting a golf ball. 2 millimeter change on hitting a golf ball is the difference of it going all the way here or straight down. 2 millimeter difference on how they did your teeth can make you look like Mr. Ed or super young and beautiful,
Ed.
right? Like
I
a lot of people aren't going to get that, right? Because 2 millimeter shifts. I'm not a big tattoo guy, but I almost got 2 millimeter written on here just to remind me that I'm closer to where I want to be.
Wouldn't the dye go in your veins and poison
That's
you?
the way it works. It doesn't poison you.
No.
Anyway, great takeaway. That's what we got for you, episode 120. I still don't like you, still on my nerves. I'm just kidding. Take care.
The feeling's mutual.